gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subtitles from Kevin Conso, Papa Conso, Felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey there. Welcome, as always, to Wanna Bet. We are fired up that you're here. We are fired up to try to attack these books and these lines. Again, we do this every day. I am Jason. That's Ben. Occasionally, we have some friends and guests with us. But today, look, we're on a heater. We're having a great week. We've been cashing regularly on this show since we launched it on May 21st. And Ben and I are both in a really good vein of form right now. So we want to give you guys these MLB plays, a lot of 12:30 Eastern starts, 1 o'clock Eastern starts. So we want to get all that to you guys in plenty of time for you to place those bets before those games start. It's a Wednesday, final week of the PLL regular season. It is always a Premier Lacrosse League Wednesday around here with us. We've enjoyed handicapping and betting on that all year. We're on some WNBA. We're on soccer. Leagues Cup continues. If you want to follow all our picks, join the Super Discord. It's in my link tree. It's in Ben's link tree. I'm on some Champions League qualifiers today. I've been hammering plus money there. So, yeah, big day of betting for us ahead. But Beltway Ben, before we get into our three favorite bets of the day and fourth and short and everything else, yeah, how'd it go last night? Not too shabby. We combined to go 7-1 last night. Mazatlan got housed by San Diego in the Leagues Cup. I thought San Diego, with nothing to play for, would rest a bunch of guys. They did the opposite, but we crushed plus money bets in MLB. Had a huge night, 5-1-1 in the Super Discord in MLB last night. And again, while I didn't have a great night in Leagues Cup, I absolutely did in Champions League. And Beltway Ben, you were all over MLB and the WNBA.
Yeah, it was a great night. We also had Shepard cash for double-double for plus 220, which was a good cash. Leah Boston killed it for both of us because you tailed that as well to give us another unit there. Brian Wu to record a win. He was dominant, as I expected, against that White Sox lineup. So, yeah, it was a very, very good night. And then we also have a play back to Monday that we need today. We need the Mariners to win one of their next two against the White Sox. So we need the Tigers to win today in this series. Jack Flaherty's on the mound. We'll be crossing our fingers, but against a bad Twins team, they should be able to win, but we'll see. Yeah,
I should have faded him, and maybe I still will before that starts, because when I fade him, he's great, and we need him today, so go General. All right, so if you're new to the show, first, second, and third down, the three favorite bets that Ben and I made since our last show, which, again, we do this every day. Fourth and long is really going to be fourth and short. We've been crushing it in the NERFy and YERFy markets. There's a couple of plays I really like, early games that I'm parlaying together and playing separately. And then, as we mentioned, overtime, we will handicap the final week of a kind of quirky and tricky PLL schedule. But Beltway Ben, first down, where are we going?
Yeah, we're going to go to this Mets game. Pete Alonso, over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at minus 120. And I'm also giving out as an official play the Mets on the money line plus Pete Alonso, just one plus hit run or RBI, and that's minus 105. When you look at the situation here, Gavin Williams against right-handed hitters on the road, 372, 461, 709 slash line opposing batters have. Alonso at home against right-handed pitching, 301, 386, 493. He's been very good. He's also got a 574 slug in day games compared to 471 at night. Seeing the ball very, very well right now. He's 5 for 8 in this series. And then when you get to the money line play with Pete Alonso, I just touched on him. Yeah. But Gavin Williams struggled on the road. 2.77 ERA, progressive, jumps up to 4.03 on the road. Then you have David Peterson, 11 home starts, 2 ERAs, 5-0, and the Mets have won 10 of his 11 home starts. Pretty crazy when you look at how he's been the rest of the year outside of that park, and then he goes there and he's just been dominant. The Mets need this win, so I did parlay them with Pete Alonso. So those are the two plays. Pete Alonso, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, and then also 1 plus them on the money line at minus 105.
Spoiler alert, teaser alert, whatever you want to call it, David Peterson will factor into my NERFy play, and frankly, he has with regularity the last month or so when he's on the bump. First down, I'm going Leagues Cup, and look, last couple days, this has not gone great for me. But of all the third round plays that I've made, And we've hit a bunch on the Super Discord that we have not given out on this show. I like Miami Pumas to be maybe the game of the tournament here. This is a weird tournament. Again, if you're not following, 18 teams from MLS, 18 from Mexico, only 4 of each advance. So while you're playing against the other league, you're competing with the teams from your league, and you're all playing different teams. So it's kind of bizarre format. But in a nutshell, it sets up where Miami and Pumas both need this game. They both need to win this game, and they both need to score goals and try to work on their goal differential to win this game. So that's why I like them both to score, and I like us to get at least 3 total goals in this match. And while Messi is still out for FC Miami, they have been scoring goals. They've got at least 2 goals scored in both games previously they've played in the Leagues Cup. They've scored 9 total goals in their last 4 matches. Again, that's with Messi being out. Pumas has scored 8 goals in their last 4 games. Pumas has allowed 8 goals in their last 5. Pumas has been struggling in the first half of games, conceding, and then having to chase and dominating possession in the second half. Like even an Atlanta team that stinks in MLS and stinks in this tournament still scored twice against Pumas. Now, Pumas came back, got us that win. We cashed that bet. They ended up winning, but I just think they're a little shaky. Both these teams, again, I expect to go for it. So I'm going to ride the BTTS trend, which has been prevalent in this tournament. And frankly, it wouldn't surprise me if this is a 3-2 match, but obviously 2-1 with both teams scoring get us home. Second down, Ben.
Yeah, second down. We will go back to the MLB. And when I was looking at this, it took a little bit of time for me to decipher which I wanted to go, whether it was outs at 17.5 outs or over 5.5 strikeouts. But just the way that Cash handles that bullpen and kind of brings guys in for a matchup with 2 outs in an inning, 1 out in an inning, kind of scared me. And last night they didn't get a ton of length from Pepiot, but they didn't have to use their bullpen the day before. So they still have that fully ready to go. Nobody overthrew last night. I do think Boz goes over strikeouts today. When you look at what he's done on the road, 2.97 ERA through 10 starts compared to 6.54 through 12 home starts. And I know we're not looking for outs with this prop, but he's been better. He's been more comfortable pitching away from that minor league spring training ballpark that the ball just flies at. And it's really not fair to him, but he's got to deal with it. 25.5% K rate against right-handed pitching since June 15th, 3rd highest in the MLB for the Angels. And you look at right-handed starters lately. Ryan Pepiot had 6, Hauser had 3, but he's not a strikeout guy. Burke for the White Sox had 7, and Savali had 8. 3 of their last 4 have gone over. Savali and Burke combining for 15 strikeouts should tell you all you need to know about what the Angels are doing at the plate. They're chasing home runs, swinging and missing a ton, and that's how they give outs away. And you have a guy with great stuff like Boz. Like throughout the year, you've seen him. He's only struck out 2 batters or 3 batters in some games, but he's also got up to 8 or 9. So we just need 6 here. He went over it last game. I'm confident he'll do it again today.
I've been on a lot of his strikeout props this year, and he gets into a ton of two strike counts. It's not uncommon for him to be, 0-2, 0-2, 1-2 all over the place, and it's just a matter of getting that last put-away pitch. Second down, look, I'm already on this game tomorrow. I will be back on the A's tomorrow. Like the Washington Nationals could be playing the Savannah Bananas tomorrow, or they could be playing – the Washington Nationals could be playing the Harrisburg Senators. They're AA team tomorrow. I'm going to be on the Harrisburg Senators on the run line. Like the Washington Nationals are the worst team in baseball right now, and it's not close. Last 6 games, they've allowed 70 runs. They've given up 103 hits. They've got 8 errors in their last 5 games. The bullpen was the worst in the National League before they traded people. Now it's abject failure. Cade Cavalli, who could not get anybody out in AAA, is starting this game because they're out of pitchers. Their ace, he was a first-half ace. He's running out of steam now. Mackenzie Gore, we attacked him yesterday. We told you he's going to get pounded early in this game, and they're going to have to go to their terrible pen. And they did. They're running on fumes. The A's are swinging the bats well right now, and the A's are a running line machine on the road. A's 33-25 on the run line on the road, 9-3 on the run line their last 12 games overall. Washington 22-34 on the run line at home, among the worst in baseball. Springs has been really good. The Nats don't hit lefties that well. James Wood has run out of gas. Abrams has run out of gas, and the Nats don't hit at home to begin with. Like, they've got an interim manager. They got an interim GM. They are a horrific baseball operation right now, and I think the A's take it to them again. And for the kind of value they're handing out, I jumped on it last night as soon as it populated. Third down, Ben.
Yeah, third down, we're going to go to the WNBA, which we've been having a lot of success in, and we're going to go with Salawan over 5.5 rebounds, and it's plus 122, which is a really good number to get it at. They had a matchup with Las Vegas the other night, and she had 3 rebounds. There was like 20 seconds left in the second quarter. She gets a flagrant 2. It was a pretty hard foul and gets tossed from the game, but she was halfway there, and we were at halftime. Las Vegas is allowing 36 opposing rebounds per game, which is the 3rd most in the WNBA. We saw Salawan go for 9 the game before that. They're dealing with a lot of injuries. Billings is still out. And like I said, the prop are plus 100. It's minus 136 right now. So a little bit in favor of us cashing them to make the playoffs because the Mystics have really been struggling. They just sold Sykes right before the deadline. Tomorrow's the official deadline, so we'll see some more deals before then. But
yeah, your Mystics wheeling and dealing, Beltway, Ben. Wheeling and dealing.
Hey, I'll be honest. I love what the Mystics are doing. I'm a very, very big fan. They're better than the listen. The Wizards are going to be in a good spot too. You'll hear me talking about them. We might have a future prop coming up on them. 21.5. Listen, I know what my Wizards are, and they're usually horrible.
You do.
21.5. 21.5 feels, but like Middleton and McCollum can go out on a couple of games. I think they'll get that done. We'll get to that though another time. But I do like Salawan.
Let that marinate a little bit. Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. If I am on the road today, I've had a crazy morning. If I had my man Meatball, who man does he smell good after going to Snazzy Jazzy's yesterday, and getting groomed. If I had Meatball, I would hold him up. Third down for me. I'm not going to belabor this point. The Colorado Rockies are the worst team in modern baseball history. They are terrible right now. They're deep into their bullpen that they gutted at the trade deadline. And Toronto is swinging the bats quite well, and Coors Field is a great hitting environment for Toronto. I don't know why this is not priced more dramatically, but I'm on it. If you haven't been paying attention, the Rockies have like 30 wins all season. Kyle Freeland's on the mound. Kyle Freeland really wanted to be traded. He wasn't. So him and his 6 ERA at home now and a 5.4 ERA in his last 7 starts have to face Vladdy and Bichette and company, who keep distancing themselves from the Yankees. Kevin Gossman's pitched in this environment before. He was in the National League for a long time. He understands Coors Field. 2.74 ERA in his last 7. The Rockies are 3-6 on the run line their last 9. I think Toronto finishes the job here and wins this game comfortably. All right, 4th and long is not 4th and long today. We are riding the 4th and short momentum because we've been hitting on first 3 innings bets, Nerfies, Yerfies, Nerfy parlays. We love this stuff. We know you do too. You don't have to sit through the entire game to find out if you cashed. What do you got today in 4th and short, Beltway Ben?
Yeah, I have a tight Nerfy here. We're getting minus 104 on the odds, and it's the Royals and Red Sox. And listen, when you look at May and what he's done this year, overall, the Yerfy looks like a fine play. But you look at his last 6 starts, he's 4-2. He's starting to figure it out a little bit. And now he goes to Boston for his first start with this team in that park. The emotions are going to be high. He's a very emotional guy. He's exciting. He's dialed in. He throws hard. And he'll be ready to go, in my opinion, in front of that crowd. And then you have Michael Wacha, who's 20-2 to the Nerfy this season, which is just shocking. And he's also pitched in that park through his time when he pitched for the Red Sox. He also pitched in the AL East. So he should be used to it as well. And we're getting these odds at minus 104. I'm not really that worried if we can get through that first inning. And, like, Jonathan India isn't amazing. Bobby Witt's the bat that scares me the most. Yeah. But I do think May will be tuned up. And we get swing and miss when he's on. And like I said, in front of that crowd in this environment, I just have a good feeling that May's going to come out ready to go and at least get us a scoreless first inning and walk a 20-2. We won't have to worry about anything else after that.
Yeah, I love the Nerfy card in today's games, and I'm pretty judicious about when I give out Nerfy parlays. It's not like we're throwing them out there every day, and we have crushed them when we've done them. So let's keep that going. There were 2 that stood out to me. I've played them individually, and I've parlayed them. We'll start with the first game of the slate today, 12:35 start, the Phillies and the O's. If you haven't been paying attention, Trevor Rogers is basically he's Bob Gibson right now. He's got a 1.13 ERA in his last 7 starts. In day games, he has a 1.32 ERA. He's got nasty stuff from the left side. He's throwing sliders in on lefties and jamming them up. Righties really have no chance. He's running everything in on their hands. He has not allowed an earned run in 9 first innings so far this year. The league batting 125 against him in the first innings. He used to be in this division for a long time with the Marlins. Harper's 5 of 20 for him in his career. Schwarber's 3 of 13. JT Realmuto's 2 of 18. Trey Turner does have 2 hits and 7 at-bats. If he can keep Turner from getting on base to start this game, I really like the chances of his first inning run continuing. The Orioles cannot score runs with any regularity. Ranger Suarez on the mound. He's got a 1.56 ERA in the first inning. 1 earned run allowed in 16 first innings on the season. 130 batting average against, a whip of 0.81. And he's going to get to mow down some lefties early in that Orioles lineup. I also really love the Nerfy in the Cleveland, New York game. These are both Nerfy teams, and these are Nerfy pitchers. Beltway Ben mentioned Peterson earlier in the show. He's made 21 starts, Beltway Ben. He's allowed 2 earned runs in the first inning all season. 127 batting average against. He's been absolutely dominant. You look at Gavin Williams. He has allowed just 2 first inning runs in his last 11 starts. His overall numbers in the first inning aren't spectacular if you look at the 2.86 ERA, but a 195 batting average allowed in the first inning, a whip under 1.2. I like this matchup. These are 2 Nerfy heavy teams in general. The Guardians have been a top 4 Nerfy team most of the year. Kwan is not getting on base right now. A Ramirez home run always scares you. But Beltway Ben, if you parlay these together like I have, you can get that at plus 230. Again, I only give out about 1 Nerfy parlay a week. This is the one. That brings us to overtime. And it is our last regular season overtime with the Premier Lacrosse League. We love handicapping this league. We love watching this league. It's been an interesting league to bet because the dogs have cashed all year long. And Beltway Ben, before we get into this week's games, you and I both watched that Denver-New York Atlas game on Sunday afternoon on ABC. We're from the Baltimore area. We've been around lacrosse our whole lives. I have watched lacrosse my whole life when Johns Hopkins was a powerhouse, University of Maryland winning national titles, all iterations of professional lacrosse. That Denver-New York game to me was masterclass. And if those 2 get together again from the East and the West in the championship game, I think that'd be one hell of a spectacle.
Yeah, I mean, you have a game that at halftime looks done, and you're like, not even really worth, maybe not worth watching the second half. It's going to be a blowout. It'll probably get ugly early. And all of a sudden, Denver just shoots out of the gate in the second half. And you look at, McNaney, 3 goals allowed in the second half. I know
a couple of those he'd want back. A couple of those, beating him under the crossbar, a couple of those he'd want back.
Yeah, but he's just a guy that I always talk up, and he's been impressive. He's going to cash that 1+150 bet for us because when you take over for a team that hasn't won a game and turn it on the way he has, it's pretty impressive. But it also came after the day against Carolina where he had struggled a little bit and Carolina took it to them. But this was quite honestly a match that we could see again in a few weeks playing for that trophy. So I do think Denver, to me, is the better team right now, and it's because of their goalie play. But yeah, again, that's a game that's you look forward to expecting to see that in a few weeks because they're not. I mean, they might not deliver exactly how they did, but there's not going to be a blowout in that matchup.
Well, and Denver having played and lost at 8 p.m. the night before, and then having to play a noon Denver start the next really morning in the middle of the summer. Good on them for battling back. Okay, so this is the final week of PLL matchups, and some of these games matter more for one team than the other. Some don't matter that much for others, and some teams need weird stuff to happen to make the playoffs. First game of the weekend, California against Boston. Boston is the home team, so Boston will be playing 2 games this weekend, both at Harvard Stadium, where that crowd is usually nuts. And I'm leaning into that, Beltway Ben. I have a small lean here towards the Cannons at home on the money line. Again, both teams need to try to win to clinch a playoff berth. California's turned around their season. They've won a couple in a row. They had lost 5 straight prior to that, and Boston's kind of been the same way. Like, they just ended a prolonged 3-game losing streak. Kavanaugh is one of the better scorers in this league. I think this is an opportunity for him in front of a home crowd to put on a little bit of a show. That's sort of where I am here. Again, it's a lean to Boston. I don't think Boston wants to have to beat the Whip Snakes on Sunday to clinch a playoff berth. I think to feed off the crowd and get that done here, but it's not an official play for me. It's just a lean.
Yeah, I lean Boston as well, but a play that I'm looking at and you can't get yet, but it will be an official play for me whenever it comes out. You can just take Kavanaugh and his goals. I mean, shot the ball 11 times in their last game, help lead them to a win over the Whip Snakes. And again, you can't get these odds right now. It'll be 1.5 or 2.5. My guess is 2.5, and it will be tight. But again, he's coming off a game, 7 points, 4 assists, 3 goals. I will like his goals to be scored. But again, you made the point about Boston. I do lean Boston here in front of their home crowd, at least on the first night. And we'll get to the second one in a minute.
Second game of the weekend, the upstart Carolina Chaos against Utah. Really tale of 2 seasons for these teams. About, 5-6 weeks ago, Carolina was maybe arguably the worst team in the league, and Utah was becoming a popular choice in gambling markets to maybe win this whole thing. Utah can't win. They've effectively been eliminated from the playoffs. They haven't officially been. Like, I talked to some people at the league office. They gave me the rundown of what it would take for Utah to make the playoffs. Suffice to say, Utah knows their season's over. Like, their goal differential, like it would take miraculous results for them to get in. And Carolina, I think, is pretty dead set on continuing the vein of form that they're in right now. These teams met in week 8, low-scoring affair, and Carolina and Utah games tend to be that way. They're defensive-led teams. That was a 12-11 win for Utah. Again, things have changed since then. Carolina beat Denver in the first game last weekend, as we noted. Like, that was a big game for Denver in front of their home crowds. If you were thinking maybe Carolina was a little smoke and mirrors, that showed me, no, it ain't that. They can play with anybody. I think Carolina's the better team here. I like Carolina on the money line. I played Carolina on the money line. I got it earlier this week at minus 135. You could see as we get closer to match day, it's starting to tick up. I think Utah's kind of waving the white flag, Beltway, Ben. I think they're ready to hit the beach, get back to their day jobs. They've wasted what could have been a really fruitful season for them.
Yeah, fully agree. I am on them as well. Riordan is second best or the best goalie in the league, him and McNaney. The Chaos have just been very, very good. So this would be an official play for me. Minus 144 for Carolina. Utah. It's crazy the way that like teams fall off so quick in this league, and it's just kind of the way things go. You have a team that's second to win it all. That team ends up missing the playoffs. So it's kind of crazy just the way the league goes. And when you have a team playing 2 games in a weekend, they have a chance to make up a lot of ground or lose a lot. And we've seen that a few times with some of these teams. But I do like Carolina on the money line here at minus 144.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina's only lost the last 5 weeks was, again, that 12-11 loss to Utah. I think they will avenge that here. Carolina's held their opponents to 11 goals or less in 3 of their last 4 games. That's a pretty good prescription for victory in this league. We move to Sunday. First game of the weekend on Sunday, Philadelphia Water Dogs at New York Atlas. New York has effectively clinched the 1 seed in the East. Philadelphia is a team that just hasn't been able to get it going for whatever reason. And these 2 seasons turned at a game I attended at Homewood Field at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore back in week 4 when Philadelphia was a heavy favorite and New York beat them 17-9. And New York has become the best team in the East since then. And the Water Dogs have been inconsistent at best since then. We've got a matchup with 2 of the better attackmen in this league, Sowers and Schellenberger, maybe an MVP on the line there. New York's got the better defense. New York's playing the better lacrosse in general. New York has the advantage in the net. And it was a total domination, that game in Baltimore. Now, you might tell me, well, what does New York have to play for? Well, they're already going to have a bye coming up, Beltway, Ben. You know what I mean? I don't know if they want to take 2 weeks off. And the PLL schedule starts having buys built in when we get to the playoffs anyway. So I think New York approaches this like a meaningful game and a chance to go into the playoffs with some momentum after that tough loss last week to Denver. So I lean to the Atlas here. It's not an official play for me, though, because, frankly, there's not much for the Atlas to gain other than momentum.
Yeah, I like the over here, 24.5. It's a big number. You can get it at plus money, plus 104. But I just think when you have a team in Philadelphia who playing to what you think will be to win, and New York will just kind of trying to be getting their guys in the motion, as you said, like they're going to have a bye and they're going to have to deal with some things like that. So they'll still want to score some goals, and it's against the Philadelphia defense who just hasn't been great. They let Boston score 13 goals against them, and Boston hasn't been good whatsoever. I do think they're going to bounce back from last week and come a little bit more ready to play in this one, but I do like the over at 24.5.
Final game of the weekend, by the way, Ben, and I want nothing to do with this one. Now, when we get to the weekend, when we get to Saturday or whatever, and some of these other games have been played and we know all the playoff ramifications, like if Boston needs this win to make the playoffs, I'll probably be on the Cannons. Now, I don't think we'll be able to get this number. If you think California is going to beat Boston, then you may want to jump this number for Boston now. Or maybe that's too much pressure on Boston and the Whipsnakes with nothing to play for beat them. Boston beat Baltimore or Maryland in Baltimore 13-12 in week 4. Boston, if they win the night before, really will have nothing to play for. The Whipsnakes don't really have much to play for other than pride. I'm out on this one entirely. What about you?
I'm right there with you. I've fallen out of the boat a couple times with Maryland this year, my home state team. I don't want to do it again. I've taken them to win. I was looking at them plus 1.5, but again, like you just don't know what's going to happen Friday night, which is why I just kind of will wait and give it out on the Super Discord if I really like it.
Perfectly. Well played. I'm right there with you, Beltway Ben. So we each have one official PLL play. Again, the playoffs will be starting moving forward, and we will continue to handicap that. So that's our show for today. We will be back tomorrow. Small slate of MLB games tomorrow, but there's a couple that I'm going to be on in the Super Discord tonight as soon as they populate. Looking at some soccer for tomorrow, some CFL. I'm interested in the CFL game tomorrow night. And NFL preseason gets going. We will each wade into that as well in overtime tomorrow. So go jump on those early MLB games. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Oh, Beltway Ben, before we go again, how did it go last night? Yeah, so there you go, guys. Records at the bottom are what we've done with our official plays on this show since we launched May 21st. We want to cast with you. Join our community. Subscribe to the YouTube. Check out the Super Discord. And we'll see you tomorrow on WannaBet.